Hello, my name is Jennifer Roth. I work in communications for the Stein Monogastric Nutrition Lab. And today I'm here talking with Maryane Oliveira. She is our newest postdoc in the Stein Lab. And I'll just let her introduce herself, give a little bit of her background. Maryane?
Hi, Jen. Thank you for inviting me. So, my name is Maryane Oliveira, and today I'm going to talk about the development of swine production in Brazil. First, I will let you know about my background. I am in animal sciences. I got my PhD in State University of São Paulo in Brazil, with a focus on the effects of insoluble fiber on diets for finished pigs. So, during my PhD program, I got a great opportunity to join Stein Lab team as visit scholar, and now I've returned to Stein Lab as a postdoctoral research associate.
Can you tell us a little bit about the swine industry in Brazil? Just give us an overview.
Okay, so the swine industry has been developing in the last few decades in Brazil. There have been some good changes, such as improvements in health management, nutrition, and genetics. So nowadays, Brazil is the fourth largest country for production and exportation of pork in the world. In terms of production statistics, Brazil produces 3.7 million tons of pork and exported 24.3% of the total produced to other countries, such as China, Japan, and Mexico.
You talked about some of the improvements that Brazilian producers are making, including in genetics. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, Jen. So, the production of swine in Brazil is totally based on hybridization to produce animals with great growth performance and deposition of meat on the carcass instead of fat. So the Brazilian breeders import the pigs from Europe and United States, such as large white, landrace, duroc, and Prietran, and then breed their own hybrids from that stock.
And what are some of the primary feed ingredients that are in use in Brazil, and how does that compare with what's in use in the United States?
So just like in the United States, corn and soybean meal are the premier source used in diets fed to pigs in Brazil. But for reducing the cost of feed, there has been research evaluated the potential of including co-products of industries such as fiber sugarcane and distillers dried grains of corn.
Also, you talked about improvements in health management for producers in Brazil. Can you go a little bit into what kind of improvements and innovations people are implementing?
Oh, yeah. So there also been research evaluating the effects of direct-fed microbials on growth performance in pigs with the objectives of replace antibiotics in pig diets. The reason for this is that the law prohibits the use of certain antibiotics in the pig's diets, such as colicin sulfate and erythromycin. Also, some important countries in Europe ban the use of antibiotics in diets.
So, without the use of antibiotics in the diet, since you're phasing those out, what are farms doing to maintain the health of the pigs?
So, farms use biosecurity measures to keep infectious disease out, such as physical barriers, visitor control, and vaccination programs.
What about the intensity of swine production? For instance, in the US, the trend is more toward very intense raising, a lot of pigs on farms. What's the situation like in Brazil?
So, yes, the same things has been happening in Brazil. Farms are becoming larger and pigs are kept in close confinement. But because there is a tropical country with high temperatures and humidity, this factor can affect the pig's performance. That's why the biggest challenge is to develop better technologies for reducing heat stress and peaks, and also reduce the dissemination of diseases.
Okay, Maryane, well, thanks for that overview. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about pork production in Brazil?
So, even though Brazil has a high pork production, the pork consumption per person is lower than chicken and beef there. That's why the swine industry is keeping on marketing on quality meat and looking for ways to let people know the benefits and quality of pork.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come in and talk with me today.
So thanks a lot. I hope this have given a small overview over the swine industry in Brazil. And thank you for listening.